Greetings everyone, thanks very much for joining the channel again today. We are going to talk a little bit about people with Aquascaped tanks or bare bottom tanks. I think this is a fairly interesting topic. A lot of people come to our store and they tell us that they've got a Aquascaped tank and they like to keep Discus, whether that's something that can be done or how difficult is it to manage. Firstly, obviously you do need to look at the amount of arduous work around keeping fish of your choice in a Aquascaped tank. So obviously within an Aquascaped tank you've got options of putting CO2, or most tanks will have carbon dioxide in there to help with plant growth. Some people would like to have carpeted as well. So with those type of people that are looking at carpeted tanks, what you want is a tank that has fairly low distance between the actual grass area to where the light is going to be. So you want the light to be able to penetrate to the bottom of the tank, in which case most lights will probably go to about 30 centimeters, but no more. And that is not an ideal tank in that scenario for a Discus. Discus are much better off in tanks that are 45 or higher. So keep that in mind when you are selecting what you want to put in a tank. Ideally with Discus, there's also the thought of using sand over gravel. And this is very true. Sand is a much better option for the bottom of the tank if you have to go with something at the bottom. The reason being is that sand is extremely either compact when it's in very thick layer, or it's actually so loose that it's actually lighter than jatitas and things that's going to build up over time underneath your sand. So the choice is using a very thin layer of sand or using a thick layer of sand where jatitas and waste will not be able to penetrate through. That also means not stirring up the sand as well. So keep that in mind if you are going to go with something at the bottom of your tank. But the best scenario is obviously going to be a bare bottom tank where you can rigorously look after the actual water quality within an aquarium without having to do an onerous amount of work in cleaning, siphoning, scrubbing, and obviously caring for different types of plants that will achieve better growth and survive in lower temperature as opposed to high temperature. So these things are also into consideration as well. What I do recommend to people generally when they are looking for a Discus tank is go as high as possible. So a 60 centimeter tank is ideal for Discus, but at the same time go with bare bottom. But you can have things like driftwood, you can have things like larger rocks instead of gravel to maintain that sort of natural look in the environment. You can also have wave makers at the bottom of the tank that can help you push all its waste to one side of the tank. So it's very easy for you to siphon out and clean as well. And try and make sure that you reduce the amount of maintenance work you need to do. Because at the end of the day, you're the one who needs to be cleaning your tank on a regular basis. So if you make it too onerous, you're probably going to not enjoy the hobby. If you can make it simple enough, you can't give yourself an excuse to say, I'm not going to change the tank water for my pets. So as you can see here, an example that for one of our customers, Phil Newton, he's gone with a wild Discus look where you've got wild heckle in the tank and you've also got red ICA, which is a cross from a wild Discus. So in this, he's actually chosen to go with two beautiful pieces of driftwood that are the main feature, very light level of anubias on the actual wood itself, and a light level of sand. Contrasted together with large rocks in the tank, this tank looks absolutely immaculate, beautiful, and really true to the environment that Discus would enjoy being in. So all success to you, Phil. Wonderful to be able to show us how to create a tank that is not only beautiful in terms of its Discus, but also the environment that you give it. Thanks very much everyone for joining today's channel. I hope you enjoyed a little bit of an excerpt there as we analyze the Aquascaped tank versus a bare bottom tank. Please ensure you like, subscribe, and feel free to comment. Thanks very much. See you next time.